regard, defamation cases as maybe the most important or the most profound cases there are, because we only get one reputation and you don't get a second chance once it's destroyed. To have your reputation destroyed is really to ruin everything about you. It ruins you, it ruins your family's view of you, it ruins your neighbor's view of you. You go to a party, you don't know who's looking at you sideways because they heard, you're a this or you're a that. It is an extraordinarily difficult thing to live with. And for that reason, when we represent defamation clients, it really is the most profound type case we could be handling.
Welcome to the JAKIB Halftime Show. I'm Devan Kaney, coming to you live from Ocean Casino Resort. We are at the Gallery Bar Booking Games. This report is brought to you by Baquetto and Lentz. Eagles lead the Jaguars 20-14 at the half, and we are going to bring in Marc Farzetta, who is coming to us live from Philadelphia. Marc, what a first half it was. A lot of downs, a lot of ups. I don't even know what to make of it. How are you feeling?
Well, here's what I can say. The Philadelphia Eagles are the single greatest team in the history of the NFL in the second quarter. And I was just waiting for that second quarter to come around, and boy, did it come around. They rolled the Jacksonville Jaguars in that second quarter. And it's all because they trusted their run game. In the first quarter, they had a pretty balanced attack, believe it or not. It didn't feel like it, but they certainly did. And then in that second quarter, they just started running the football. And really, the biggest turning point of this game was when, in the first half at least, was when Trevor Lawrence threw a bomb down the field to Agnew, who had his coverage beat, both the safety coming over, I believe it was Epps, and then the cornerback McPherson. He had them beat for a touchdown, and we're very close to putting the Eagles down 21-0. They don't convert on that play. They end up fumbling the football away. They take it down the other end of the field. The Eagles are able to punch it in to get the first score of the game for them, make it 14-7. Then you get another touchdown in the very next possession by the Eagles after their defense came up huge on a 3rd and long, where Doug Peterson out of nowhere decided to run the ball at a halfback draw to try to get some yards. Brandon Graham steps up, fills that gap very well. They end up giving the ball right back to the Eagles, who go right back down the field and score again. Just a great way to dominate that second quarter for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about second quarters. Looking ahead to the second half, the Eagles have put up a goose egg in the second half of their last two games, but they've also been ahead by so much that didn't really matter. What's the key to them keeping this up, and can they keep it up in the second half?
No, they certainly can. It looks like the rain is just going to continue. It's going to be a steady rainfall. And I did notice, at least just by looking at it on the TV, it looked like it was raining a lot harder when the Eagles started to run the football more in that second half. I think they do a lot of the same. If it's working for you right now, keep doing the same exact thing. Let Miles Sanders get hot. Let Kenny Gainwell just score a touchdown. Let him get hot. And I also applaud Nick Sirianni for not just trying to get the field goal before halftime. Then you saw they missed the point after with Jake Elliott, so a good thing that they went for it on that 4th down. But yeah, just keep riding the hot hand right now. Keep riding that wave that is Miles Sanders. And then when it comes time to pass it, it looks like A.J. Brown just continues to get open for Jalen Hurts. So ride what's working for you right now. I always say it on the defensive side of things. If something is working for you, keep on using it. Let the offense really try to react to it. Let them try to figure it out. Let them try to out-scheme you. It's the same thing when it comes to what the Eagles are doing offensively. The Jaguars can't find a way to stop Miles Sanders at this point, so keep on going to your man.
Yeah, we will bring in John McMullen in a bit, who is coming to us live from the link for an update on injuries. But Darius Slay, of course, went out, as did Jordan Mailata. When it comes to defense and missing a key piece of the defense like Slay, how big of an impact do you think that has had? And are you happy with the defensive performance so far in this game?
I'm happy. They've allowed 7 points. They got beat on one particular play that I referenced earlier that would have put the Eagles down 21-0, but Trevor Lawrence is still a quarterback that needs to make that throw. He did not make that throw. Keep on making Trevor Lawrence be the guy that has to beat you today. We've already seen the ball slip out of his hands once. We've seen a couple of overthrows. The most egregious was the one I've talked about already. But make him be the guy that has to beat you. If they start trusting the run game more, that's where the Eagles are going to be able to really, I think, pounce on this offense, because they'll be able to control the pace going forward. Because I think The run game it was thought when going into this game with the weather, the run game was going to benefit the Jaguars simply because they had a solid run game with two solid running backs and a not running, but certainly a mobile quarterback in Trevor Lawrence who could also deliver the football if he needed to. That has completely gone the other way. Miles Sanders has taken this over. Kenny Gainwell has started to shine. Jalen Hurts, we all know, would shine in that category anyway. So going up, the only difference was they were going up against the number one ranked defense in the NFL. So a lot of people thought with this run defense coming in here, they were going to just have a lot of success in a rainy day situation. And that has not been the case even a little bit. But in the second half, I would tell Jonathan Gannon, I'd tell this defense to continue to make Trevor Lawrence be the guy that has to beat you. If your offense goes up another touchdown, they're going to start to really try to air it out. And that's where I think you'll be able to coax them into even more mistakes in the second half.
Yeah, and when it comes to the Jags defense, we knew that they were good at picking off the ball, and we saw that very early on in this game. Hopefully we don't see it again in the rest of this game. Marc Farzetta, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
All right, now we're going to bring in our Eagles insider, John McMullen. But first, let's take a look at the Eagles' first half stats throughout the season so far. They seem to be a first half team, particularly a second quarter team. 92 points, including what they put up in the first half of this game throughout this season. They have only put up 14 points so far this season, and they were all in the second half, and they were all against the Lions. And now we are going to bring in John McMullen. John, do we have you?
I can hear you, Devin. I can't see you, so hopefully
I
you
can see you
me.
now.
There, I got you.
Hello. You are coming to us live from the link, the rainy link. How bad is the weather down there?
It is pretty bad, obviously, as you can see. I mean, the rain is a big issue. I think the wind is even the bigger issue because it's gusting probably upwards of 25, 30 miles an hour at times. So the Eagles have it was sort of a tale of two halves in one half. So, Jacksonville got out to the great start. Trevor Lawrence really changed the momentum of this game with that unforced error on fourth down. Just kind of dropped and dribbled the football, and all of a sudden the Eagles get going. And then the most impressive part, Devin, was the running game down the stretch of the first half. I mean, Jason Kelce, Isaac Seumalo were just dominating. And remember, this Jacksonville team came in the number one ranked run defense in the NFL, 55 yards per game. The Eagles are already at 112 in the first half. In that second touchdown drive, Devin, 8 of 9 plays running the football, and they just ran it down Jacksonville's throat. So that, to me, is a good sign for the second half. And then the second part is Jacksonville came in as the team with the best turnover ratio in the NFL. And there were two unforced errors by Trevor Lawrence because he also dropped the snap on the quarterback sneak that they would have converted. The Eagles had the short field, took it in again with the running game. So all positive. It didn't look good early, and you have to be concerned. Darius Slay has not been able to return with that forearm injury. Jordan Mailata with the shoulder. Patrick Johnson being checked for a concussion. So there are some injury issues.
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask you for an injury update. No other details you've heard about Slay or Mailata, or who else is out? Johnson?
Yeah, Patrick Johnson is in being checked for a head injury. So
okay.
No, we don't know if he's been ruled out yet. But Slay and Jordan left pretty early and weren't able to return. So we'll know pretty quickly if they come out to the field, but it doesn't look good for them. I was a little worried about Jack Driscoll coming in. He's never played left tackle before, but he held up well. Now the Eagles went heavy run when Jordan left the game, so we'll see how it shakes out in the second half. But something to keep an eye on, Zach McPherson as well in a cornerback for Darius Slay. So it's tough to throw it, though, so I wouldn't be as concerned about Darius Slay.
Yeah, when Slay and Mailata went out, things were certainly not looking good. The Eagles had also still put up 0 points. Now things are looking a little brighter. How do they continue that into the second half?
Well, I think they should run the football. I mean, as I said, Jason Kelce and Isaac Seumalo dominated that second quarter. Those two specifically, and to me, until the Jags prove they can stop it, I'm going to keep doing it, and I expect the Eagles. They'll get the football because they deferred in the second. They won the coin toss and deferred. So this is that perfect situation. Why teams defer? You want to score points at the end of the first half and then come out and score points again. When you do that, you generally win the game. The Eagles have the opportunity to do that.
All right, John McMullen, keep holding it down for us at the link and stay dry as best you can. We'll see you after the show.
Thanks, Devin.
And that does it for our JAKIB Halftime Report. Tune back in for the Pond Hockey postgame show right after the fourth quarter wraps.
I regard, defamation cases as maybe the most important or the most profound cases there are, because we only get one reputation, and you don't get a second chance once it's destroyed. To have your reputation destroyed is really to ruin everything about you. It ruins you, it ruins your family's view of you. You go to a party, you don't know who's looking at you sideways because they heard, you're a this or you're a that. It is an extraordinarily difficult thing to live with. And for that reason, when we represent defamation clients, it really is the most profound type case we could be handling.